Hi. So you've been invited to become a program leader for Speakers Institute Corporate. Congratulations. I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect on the fact that this is a recognition of your talent and your achievements, and even more than this, is a statement of trust that the leadership of this high-profile, fast-growing organisation is confident to put the SIC brand and the future of the SIC business in your capable hands. As a program leader, there are many things you have to do, and there are many things you get to do when you're ready for it. To help unpack these, I'd like to explore these with you through the lens of the John Maxwell paradigm of the 5 levels of leadership. The first level of leadership is position. This is all about the title and the rights and powers of a leader, and this is where everyone starts on their road to becoming a leader. Now, I've been a lawyer for over 30 years, and I remember when I was made a partner at my law firm, one of my first leadership roles was to take over from a long-serving partner who was retiring, and I was to become chairman of the Precedent Development Committee. Well, at my first meeting as chairman, I sat down and welcomed everyone, laid out my plans for the committee, and people nodded politely and some smiled, and then they all turned to Peter. Now, Peter was a special counsel at the firm who'd been on the committee for over a decade. He was a superb lawyer and really knew his way around a legal document. And it soon became clear to me that Peter was the real leader of this committee, not me. I mentioned it to the retiring partner sometime later, and he just chuckled and said, "Yeah, I wondered how long it was going to take you to work that one out." You see, the real leader is not the one with the title, but the one that people follow. In fact, there's an old saying that if you think you're leading but no one's following, then you're just taking a walk. And initially, as program leader at SIC, you may find yourself in the same position I was in. You'll be leading a group of highly experienced professionals, some of whom have been doing this for decades. And leading this group will be a bit like herding cats. But lead you must, because leadership comes with both title and also a bunch of responsibilities and accountability. Now, don't worry, you'll get it. You would not have been promoted if you did not have the ability. So for now, just to focus on what you have to do. Now, the requirements of a program leader are set out in the manual, and the details of these are also dealt with in the companion video, which my colleague Pavel has prepared for you. But let's just say you'll have plenty of jobs on your plate, from organising details right through to delivering the commander's intent. And I'm going to come back to the commander's intent. And you may well think, why on earth would I want to be a program leader? And it's true. If you remain as a positional leader, as a level 1 leader, then it's a bit of a thankless task. You see, the job of a positional leader is to ensure that the team delivers the minimum KPIs. There's nothing exciting about achieving minimum results, but there are things that have to be done. So make sure you step up and make sure those things are done superbly. But the truth is that no one who's made it this far as a program leader at SIC wants to stay at level 1. Only a positional leader. So what's the next level you're going to progress to? The next level, the second level, is permission. And this is all about relationships. Now remember, I'm an old lawyer. And I know that at some point, every senior lawyer in my team comes to me and says something like, "How do I get the juniors to do what I tell them to do?" At this stage, I always smile and lean back in my chair because I can feel a learning moment coming on. I'd turn to them. Have you asked your team how you can help them? What you can do to equip them and make their life easier? How can you form a relationship with them? In fact, did you say hello to them this morning? They smile and I see realisation. Okay, I get it. It's the same at SIC. Now, SIC is a well-oiled machine, And the reason most of us are here is because of the environment of collegiality and genuine care which Craig Johns has embedded in the DNA of SIC and has done from its earliest days. But even so, you have to step up and take those important steps to create relationships. I suggest that you contact the team members individually before the program and reach out to see if they need help or coaching. Then, at the start of the team session before the program, take time to talk and catch up on their lives. And ask if there are any issues that they're dealing with and what challenges they may be facing which could get in the way of their doing their very best. And I suggest you already come prepared with something you've been struggling with to take this conversation to another level to break the ice, just in case you need to. Now, there's an SIC axiom: people before program. As John Maxwell would say in his deep southern drawl, I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care. Sam Cawthorne is right on the pulse in his latest book, People Follow People. But it's also true that people follow people best where they like or admire them. So take a few minutes to grow a relationship. It is truly amazing what heights people can rise to in an environment of high permission. And the way to generate that permission is relationship. It's all about the people. If you can be a leader who raises the level of permission in the team, then you are already head and shoulders above the crowd. In fact, in my industry of law firms, where half the partners are sociopaths or narcissists, if you're a relationship builder, you stand out like a rock star. But of course, SIC is no ordinary organisation. And I know that you're hungry to move on to level 3. So we move from position to permission and now to level 3, production. Now, can you start to see a P thing happening? Position, permission, production. It'll keep going. Production is all about making the organisation better. When an organisation improves, it's good for everyone in the organisation. When SIC lifts its programs to a higher level, everyone in SIC benefits from that. And what is the engine for that growth? It's the program leaders. But before we dive into this, let me give you a lesson from my own long and bitter experience. The leader who grows the production of an organisation knows the right thing to do at the right time. But how do we know the right thing to do at the right time? By doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So don't beat yourself up when you screw things up. It happens. It's happened to me, and it will happen to you. Thomas Edison famously said, I never view mistakes as a failure. They're simply opportunities to find out what doesn't work. So when you try something and it doesn't work, take note. And then afterwards take the time to understand your mistake, analyse the effect on you, on the participants, and on the organisation. Learn from it. Decide what you'll do better next time. And move on and move up in your growth. Okay, back to the level 3 leader who raises production. A level 3 leader is nimble. They know how to change and pivot to achieve the best result. They're the ultimate optimizer. I've seen Jessica Kiley do this. She's listened deeply to something a participant has said. And knowing Jess, she's probably written it down in her program notes. And in a flash, she's reordered a whole program and changed focus seemingly on the spot, and in the process immeasurably improved that program. Now this is master level stuff, and as they say on TV, don't try this at home, kids. But right from your very first session as leader, keep a separate piece of paper or a journal where you jot down ways that the program could be improved. And share these thoughts with Craig or Jessica or Demian, because who knows, your idea might just unlock a whole new realm of possibility for SIC. So that's level 3. A level 3 leader takes ownership of a business and seeks always to improve it. Pretty inspirational stuff, but could there be more? Well, of course there's more. And level 4 is people development. One privilege of being a program leader at SIC is the chance to help people grow and make a real difference in their lives. This is true for the participants and also for team members. For participants, being noticed by a program leader is a big deal. I remember once I was coaching on an SI Premier Bootcamp, and Craig Johns was the program leader. One of the participants was a good friend of mine, and she was feeling a bit disheartened. I told her that Craig had identified her as one of the most promising participants, which was absolutely true. And this changed her whole outlook. She ended up enrolling in Protégé and went on to write a book and is now speaking professionally, all because the program leader noticed her and saw the promise in her. There's power here, my friend, the power to change lives. Hold that power with gratitude and wield that power with humility, compassion, and love. Now, for the team members, this is just as important, maybe even more important. This is your opportunity to give coaching in a real-life situation, which is always vastly different to practice sessions. But here's a tip. Let it settle for a while before giving you feedback. People are too hyped up with adrenaline to take on anything on the day, and far better that you take the time to craft your feedback carefully. One of my great loves is tango dancing, and I've had the pleasure and the privilege to dance with, some of the truly great tango dancers, many of whom have given me frank and grueling feedback on how to lead tango better. But we have a rule in tango. We don't coach during a social dance. We call them milongas. The milonga is just for dancing. Afterwards is for coaching. It's the same at SIC. On the day, pick out just a couple of great things that the people have done and pass those on. And then later, let the coaching come then. But remember, and this is critical, you have to be at level 2 or above before you can coach. Your relationship must be at a level of permission. Now, we have some great level 4 leaders in SIC. Demian Khoury and Jessica Kiley are committed to training up the finest leaders in the world, leaders who will one day be as accomplished as they are. And Craig Johns? Well, Craig is the quintessential high-performance coach with an uncanny knack for finding the key which can unlock greatness in people. Here's the question. Will you be the next SIC Level 4 leader? So how do you know if you're a Level 4 leader? You know because people are being helped to grow through your involvement in their lives. And what's more, you're starting to raise up leaders from the ranks of those you lead. In business, your goal should always be to train your people so well that you make yourself redundant. And that is exactly the same at SIC. And don't be alarmed. Once you make yourself redundant and free yourself up, there is always a higher calling which unfolds before you. So go ahead, grow the leaders around you and make yourself redundant. So is this the highest level? The servant leader who grows a new leader? Well, in many ways this is, because it's the highest level that we can actually work towards. But there is one higher level, level 5, and John Maxwell calls it the pinnacle. Of course, because that starts with P. It's said that when a good leader gives a speech, people clap. But when a great leader gives a speech, people march. The pinnacle comes really without seeking it, and occurs when your life so matches your rhetoric that you're in perfect alignment. It comes long after you've been named a leader and have become a positional leader. It comes after you've built relationships with your team and become a leader with high permission. It comes after you take ownership of the future of your organisation and take personal responsibility for production and for people development, and even after you start equipping and raising up new leaders. Some of us drift into level 5 moments briefly, and sometimes without even realising it. Suddenly there'll be a moment A moment when you speak and you ignite a fire in the heart of someone and you will change their life forever. This is transformation. This is level 5 leadership, and it is the great reward of leadership. The power to speak and speak possibility into the hearts and minds of listeners and start a revolution. And here's my prediction. That level 5 leader who changes the world may well be you. So, my friend, let's conclude here. Remember that this is a progression and won't happen immediately. You can't fake it until you make it. You have to practice it until you earn it. Earn the permission of your team through building relationships. Make the whole organisation and every person in it better because of you. And make SIC a beacon in the personal development industry. And I said I'd come back to the commander's intent. Every time you state the commander's intent, let this be your measuring stick. Did you see permission? Yes, shining eyes, smiles, raised hands. Check in with your heart. Do you have a heart to improve the organisation, and are you making a difference? And finally, are you helping people to grow, and are you raising up new leaders? And then one day, maybe when you're least expecting it, you will give the commander's intent and you will feel the surge as the team rises to march. Much love to you in your journey. And I predict also much success to Speakers Institute Corporate. We just had the good sense to appoint you as a program leader. Namaste.